Hey everyone, I'm Breanna from Boom, and welcome to this week's edition of Boom Chat. I am thrilled to have a very special co-host with me today, our resident Magic the Gathering expert, Morgan Perry. Morgan, say hi.
Hey everyone, thanks for having me join the Boom Chat today. Oh my gosh, I'm super excited. I'm excited to be here with Jed and Ig to talk about one of my favorite games, Magic the Gathering. Bree, I know you call me an expert, but I would not necessarily call myself an expert. I am just a very enthused fan who one of their favorite things to do is playing the game and talking about the franchise, especially the lore, the characters, and like the artwork, which is always like my favorite part of opening a pack is what's the new artwork. I've been playing and collecting cards for like 10 years. And one of the things I've missed about quarantine are my Friday night Magic nights with my friends playing Commanders. So hopefully we can, start doing that again. But Bree, you know that I screamed when we heard the announcement of Wizards of the Coast. We'd be working with Wizards of the Coast for Magic. So I'm really excited to bring the next wave of comics and to be here talking with Jed and Ig. So it's real. It's gonna go out.
Yay! You were so excited, and I'm so glad. And I'm so glad we could have you on the show. Oh my gosh, we are so excited to be speaking with Jed MacKay and Ig Guara, the writer and the artist of our brand new Magic comic book series. Morgan, take it away with the little blurb that we have about Magic.
For sure. Across the vast multiverse, those gifted with a spark can tap into the raw power of Magic and travel across realms. They are Planeswalkers. When coordinated assassination attempts on Guildmasters Ralzarek, Vraska, and Kaya rock the city of Ravnica and leave Jace Beleren's life hanging in the balance, it's the fuse that is lit that threatens not just these three guilds, but the entire plane of Ravnica. Now these three must covertly infiltrate the wild plains of Zendikar and from the tenuous alliance uncover why the targets of the assassinations have all been Planeswalkers. This will lead them straight to one of the most coolest characters in Magic history, I gotta tell you.
Oh my gosh, I love it. Thank you so much for doing that for us, Morgan. Okay, so Jed and Ig, I'm so excited to have you both here. Okay, I have to fully admit, I'm not super learned with my Magic the Gathering lore, but that's why Morgan's here. So we're going to do things a little differently for this chat, but I really hope that because of this, we can let the fans know that this series is going to be great for newcomers and for longtime fans of the game. So Morgan, I'm going to let you ask them the first question.
All right, Jed and Ig, can you tell us what excited you about being on this project and what were you familiar about with Magic before starting?
I was excited when I was offered the the opportunity to do this because I was really into Magic when I was younger. I think I was playing from around the time 4th edition / Ice Age came out, so it's a while back. I spent a lot of the 90s, digging through the quarter bins and the nickel bins to see what I could get to fill out my deck, and had just a lot of leftover affection for that. I've been out of the game for quite some time, like 20 years or so. So I was excited, for two reasons. The first, to go back to something that I had a lot of affection for in my past, and also to have an excuse to get back into it, to familiarize myself with everything that's happened story-wise with the game, over the last 2 decades. By the time that I was playing, you didn't have as involved a storyline. You just had whatever you could learn from the little flavor text boxes on the cards, and you kind of had to figure it out or piece the puzzle together on your own. So when I went back to, figure out what's going on in the present, I was greeted with a continuity as not necessarily convoluted, but certainly as weighty as any mainstream superhero history. So yeah, it was really exciting.
Awesome. Ig, what excited you about this project, and were you familiar with Magic before?
Well, my first competitive tournament was around Onslaught, a really long time ago.
Oh, that's amazing.
And I have been playing in and out for all this time, from, I guess, more than 20 years of Magic for me. I saw Commander being born. I saw the first Planeswalker cards. And I always love the lore of Magic. Not only the game, but also the lore. And as I said in another interview, I was finishing a commander deck when the email for Boom arrived, asking me to work on Magic. So I was, what? That's amazing.
Oh, that's so exciting! Oh my gosh!
Dream gig.
I probably play more Magic than I should.
I don't think that's possible.
So when I read the script, the first script, I was already very familiar with those faces. I knew Kaya, I knew Vraska, I knew Jace and Raw. So for me, it's amazing being part of something that has been part of my life for so long.
Oh, that's awesome. I just got to say, seeing the pages and seeing the issue, like you can really tell how big of a Magic fan you are, just seeing all of the different really fun little things you add in the background and picking out all the different cards and things like that, that like I recognize from Ravnica. It's so awesome to see this drawn by a super fan.
I'm trying to do that. There is some card Easter eggs on those pages.
And for somebody who has not played Magic, looking at the pages, it's all just beautiful. I'm just so excited from a fantasy perspective to see all of this. I'm so excited to see where we're going to go. And I'm so stoked to see what the two of you are going to do with it. So my next question actually has to do with the lore. Jed, how much of the lore did you study? And like, can we expect to go anywhere other than Ravnica?
Yeah, we've studied a lot of it. I've been, thankfully in this day and age, fan resources like fandom wikis and stuff are super helpful. So I can kind of track down everything that happened in, the 2 decades I was out of the game. As well, I've been collecting the Art of Magic the Gathering books, which are, really great sources of research and inspiration. They're done by plane. Unfortunately, I don't think they're making them anymore, which is a drag. But
no.
But yeah, no, it's all there. It's all there for the learning. It's all there for the reading. So you can just get into it as much as you want or as much as you can. And also, Wizards has been great for helping us out with things like their branding decks and stuff like that, which has got designs, design processes for stuff. Like the Ravnica one is amazing. Ig and I both have it, and so rather than say this has to look like this, just say like it's on this page. It's on this page of the guide. Go look at that, and then puts us all on the same page. But yeah, we're starting in Ravnica as it's sort of. I do a lot of work for Marvel. And most Marvel comics, everything happens in New York City. Ravnica is very much Magic's New York City, but we're not bound to that, and we're going to be getting out of there relatively soon. All across the plains, there's so much opportunity, there's so much potential, and you don't want to get stuck in just one place, even though that one place is really great. So
I love that. That's such a great answer. So Ig, that makes me want to ask you the same thing. I know that you said that you've been playing for forever, but did you go back and did you do any extra research on the lore, or are you just pulling from what you already knew?
Like Jed, I have the art books for the planes. I have them also. I had them since before we started. I always loved them. It's before becoming a comic book artist, I dream of doing magic cards. So I chased the cards, chased the artists, things like that. But yeah, and as he said, the guide is amazing. The guide is great. And the fun thing about Magic is that you can go to places that are very different. When you can compare Innistrad to Ravnica, to Zendikar, to all other plants, they are completely different. So it gives me a chance to draw insane things.
I love that.
Almost like drawing cities and spaceships. Yeah.
Awesome.
We don't have a spaceship plane to go to yet, but maybe someday.
Yeah.
That would be awesome. Thank you guys so much for those answers. I love hearing about all of the different things that go into like making the series, which kind of folds into the next question of Jed. What was the inspiration you were pulling from specifically from the game for this series in particular?
My inspirations for this series are very much part and parcel of my experience with the game, in that I want to go, I want to, when I can, respect and call back to the history of the game, because that's, that 10-year period or so from, the mid 90s to the mid 2000s is when I was playing Magic. But also you need to look forward and really key into what has made the game so popular with people in modern times. Because not everyone's going to be interested in me having a series writing about characters from cards that appeared 30 years ago. No one cares about that. I would be delighted, but it's just not how it's going to work. But at the same time, I think it's important to have a respect for the long history of the game, in the same way you do with superhero comics, where you may not have to deal with every little thing in continuity, but people appreciate a nod to it,
or like a kind of reverence for it, right? Yeah, I love that. That's so great.
I will say
again. Oh, sorry. I was just going to say the focus is moving forward into the future. But yeah, that's where I come from in it.
That's awesome. I will say, as someone who's excited to see everything moving forward, I am firmly in the camp with you, Jed, of I would love to see things from 30 years ago and see those cards kind of come up, or those characters or storylines be touched on. But, I'll take what I can get. The story is already fantastic, and I can't wait to see where we go.
Yeah, my first draft of my first kind of pitch or outline for it had wanted Chandler and Joven in as Kaya's sidekicks, who haven't been seen again for 25 years. So that was quite quickly kicked off to the trash.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh, well.
Yeah. It makes sense. They're not popular. They were not popular characters in the 90s. They're not going to be popular characters now.
Well, I'm so glad that you still get to take the pieces that you like from now and make it into something that is relevant to the game while still giving a few little nods to the past. I'm all about it. I actually have a question for Eeg about the art. So I know that fans are super, super excited about your art style for this series. What is it like for you to get to tell this Magic story through your art?
It's exciting, first of all. It's really great. But it's also very challenging. Mm-hmm. The first thing is to transform the style of the game into a comic-friendly style. It's not that a simple copying the cards, the art on the cards. Most of them would not work on comic pages. You need to read the comic. You need to get immersed on that world. So there is something to have to simplify. Others you have to amplify. So it has been a challenge to make that transformation. It has been really fun at the end.
Oh, I love that. I'm so glad. Because if we're not having fun, really, what are we doing, right? Yeah. It's all about having fun. Morgan, let's have you ask this next one.
Of course, yeah. It actually, having fun actually folds into this question super well. So what, let's go with Jed. What is your favorite part of getting to work on this series? And what are you excited most for fans to see as we go forward?
My favorite part working on this series is actually something I didn't expect. And it's not something that even kind of directly relates to the comic itself. But it's something that, in working on this, like I had mentioned before, that I've been out of the game for a while and had to refamiliarize myself with continuity, and which brought me to talk a lot with an old friend of mine from high school who has basically never left. He's, kind of a lore obsessive. He knows everything that's going on. So when I was working on my pitches, I was in close communication with him. I'm like, what about this? You think this is going to work? He's like, no, that was done, 8 years ago in this set. I was like, oh, darn it. I'm like, what about this? Is this a thing that can work? Like, that doesn't make any sense with the cosmology of this world. I'm like, man, I'm gonna have to do my own research here. So actually being kind of, being put into closer communication with an old friend who, I'm in my late 30s. We all don't talk to each other as much as we used to anymore. Having that brought up in common again to have, an excuse and a reason to talk to an old friend a lot more was a lot of fun for me. It was really great to, have that relationship just sort of, rekindle and rebuild, which, again, doesn't actually say anything about the comic book itself, but as part of the process of getting ready for it, it was something that was really great and was really surprising for me. I didn't expect that.
That's amazing.
And then of course, like any comic book, the process of getting fresh art in your inbox every couple of days, seeing Eeg has been moving at such a pace. Just always got pages coming in and they always look great. I'm perhaps not as good at getting back to you on them as I should be. So I apologize for that. But it's always a delight seeing your dumb ideas become actual concrete art by someone else's hard work.
That's awesome. I love that the gathering part of Magic the Gathering was folded into your story. I think that's amazing because that's what we all love about this game is we play with our friends. Like, that's the best part. So Eeg, same question. What's your favorite part of getting to work on this series and what are you excited about most for fans to see from you?
And just like Jed talked earlier, what when I get the scripts, what I'm really looking forward to is how he's making the story move forward. How we can see things that we get snippet, just little pieces on the game. You can see them moving forward, like Vraska's relationship or the way Kaya is handling her build. Things that the game will not take time to show, but they are so fun. They are so cool to see how things move, how they live, how they became real, almost like real people for us. That for me is the coolest part. And I think people will really like to see that as well. That those characters are really well written.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, that's so lovely. Oh my gosh. Okay, so Jed and Eeg, thank you both so much for your time today. Morgan, thank you for joining us and co-hosting with me. It's been so lovely chatting with you all. And for those of you watching at home, be sure to pick up Magic #1 in stores now.